Good day, mates! Ika nga sa Tagalog, magandang araw po mga kaibigan. Welcome to the program Agenda. Thank you for being subscribers of Signal TV, viewers of One News PH on channels 8 and 250. Today is March 17, 2022. It's a Thursday. Doon po sa inyong nagbabalak mag-declare ng long weekend, pwede nyo nang gawin yan. And pwede na kayong mamasyal. Although it's not a holiday, so you are on your own at your own expense. Anyway, today is, as I mentioned, a Thursday. And today we will have two very interesting features. One, well, hindi lang feature, nasa balita talaga. Diba? Yesterday, we all read the headline, "Oh my gas, ang taas." That was a photo caption of drivers protesting the no longer affordable price of fuel. Well, today, we will be speaking with someone who is on both sides of the fence, so to speak. On one side, he is a congressman. I think he is a sitting congressman of Quezon City. And at the same time, he is also, I understand, bossing, if not CEO or president or whatever the title, of Clean Fuel, the chain of gasoline stations here in Metro Manila. And it will be interesting to discover how he's balancing that situation and what is it like to be owner of a chain of gas stations, fuel stations, and what are his customers telling him, etc. And after that, we will be talking to a previous guest here, Mike Aspirin. He guested here regarding my brother's keeper, that movement, that spiritual movement, who are ministering to members of the PNP. But at the same time, he is a high official of the Balisin Island Resort. But today, he will be speaking to us about another project. And I decided to invite him about it because yung pong kanilang project has been the subject of many wows and no's because masyado daw big time, masyado daw mahal. And until I went there and I discovered for myself what the project was all about, and I realized it's an aspirational feature, meaning hindi po masamang mag-aspire o magnais, hindi magnasa, magnais to aspire for good things, for nice things. And it's wonderful to know that there are such high-class or world-class projects in the country. So we will go to all of that. But before, as always, let's do our daily starter from the book of Isaiah in the Bible, and that is, "When you go through deep waters, I will be with you." Yung pong sinasabi dyan, pag ikaw ay dumaan sa mga malalalim na pagsubok, sasabayan ka ni Lord. The God Almighty will be with us. And he doesn't, it doesn't say when you go through deep waters, you will drown. You can check with the Israelites. You can check with the Bible history. They walked on dry land, but they walked through the deep water, okay? So I chose that because many of you are probably wondering, malulunod na ako, I'm up to my neck in debt, I have no hope, etc. The Lord said, He is with you. Wag po kayong mawalan ng walang pag-asa. Let us aspire. And like I shared the other day, I myself have had some moments of doubt. To be honest, in fact, I found myself in a 3-second self-pity that was so disturbing. But the Lord said, why? Why will you let that come into your life? Why will you let that speak into your life? I am with you. I have provided for you. I have protected you. Hindi kita pinabayaan. And I encourage all of you to look back. Kung kayo po nahihirapan now, look back. buhay pa kayo ngayon, that means God protected you. You're still fighting. That means God has been with you. So, wag po tayong mawala ng pag-asa. In the meantime, let's now go to the front page of the Philippine Star. And let's see what the front page of today, February 17, has to offer in terms of the news. Headline, Rodi retains fuel excise tax. Ayan po, kumbaga no, pinanindigan ni Presidente Duterte. The President stood his ground and did not agree to the suggestion of Congress to hold a special session. He did not agree to the suggestion of Congress. Let us suspend the fuel excise tax so Filipinos can afford fuel so that the economy can keep going, etc. But, oh my gosh, it's raining cash kasi po namimigay ng pera ang pamahalaan. Ayaw nilang magbawas ng taxes o buwis, but they are giving away money. They are giving, 200 pesos monthly ayuda to poor households. They are also giving ayuda cash vouchers of 500, total of 500 million fuel vouchers to farmers and fishermen. And the DOE sees fuel price decrease daw next week or in the coming weeks. We will find out from Congressman Bong Suntay kung yan ay haka-haka o chismis laang. At the top of the front page, you have there on the header, 4-day work week, wage subsidy proposed. Yan na po, pinag-uusapan na yan na kung hindi naman natin kayang magbayad ng pamasahe, hindi na natin kayang sumakay sa mga jeep, etc. because of such fuel hikes, bawasan na lang daw yung oras ng o araw ng pagpasok to 4 days. Okay. And then magbigay daw ng wage subsidy doon sa mga namamasukan dahil daw because according to the DOLE, Undersecretary Benjo Benavides, the minimum wage does not come anywhere near the basic living wage. Hindi na magkasya yung perang binabayad natin sa manggagawa, so bawasan na lang daw yung araw ng pagpasok. Does not compute. Anyway, okay, so yun na po, no? And then we have Pag-asa declaring the start of the dry season or what we call the summer season. And that top photo there, kumbaga parang pampabango na ng araw natin ng Philippine Star, is a photo of a tourist posing in front of moms. Yung mga, Daisy ba yan? Or moms, whatever, with Mayon Volcano as a backdrop. Okay, dahil nagbukas na po to foreign tourists ang ating bansa. And that center photo in the meantime is a photo of free buses that are bus rides given to residents of Quezon City. Yan po dapat ang pinag-aaralan siguro nila Congressman Bong Suntay, because even in Europe, the transport system is operated by the government. Maybe dito dapat mga local government magtayo na ng kani-kanilang mga transport system. Di po ba? Anyway, DOLE, Department of Labor and Employment, has announced that it is up to the National Bureau of Investigation to file charges against those who are implicated or have been indicted? Hindi pa indicted. Arrested regarding the anomalies on the DOLE Ayuda Cash Assistance called TUPAD. Meantime, masks to stay even under Alert Zero. Pero sabi nga kahapon ni Yusek Berhere, parang sablay na yung sasabihin nating alert zero kasi wala nga. Bakit meron pang alert zero? But you need to start from somewhere. Philippines on last mile of vaccination campaign, says DOH. And ayun po, no, dalawang picture ng dalawang Ginoo o nurse diyan sa doktor diyan sa ano ba ito, ospital ng Parañaque. Parang naglalako eh. Pila na kayo, punta na kayo dito. Meron tayo ditong COVID booster shot. Meron pong Moderna. Okay, so that's our front page coverage for the Philippine Star. And now, let's go to our special guest. Let's begin with Jesus pala pangalan nitong batang to. Alam ko, malaki tanda ko dito eh. Jesus pala. Congressman Jesus Bong Suntay. Congressman Suntay, you are the president of the Clean Fuel Group of Companies. Good morning. Welcome, sir.
Hi, good morning, Sito. Good morning.
Ngayon ko lang nalaman, Jesus pala pangalan mo. Mag-ingat ka, sir. Baka mapako ka sa krus. Lalo na sa mahal ngayon ng gasolina. How are you, Congressman?
Good. Sito, thank you. I'm good. Thank you for asking. Pero there are so many challenges that we're facing today. You know, after almost more than 2 years of yung COVID pandemic, ngayon naman yung we were greeted by the continued increase of price naman ng fuel, which has been a challenge for everyone, most especially dyan sa private sector, sa public transport sector.
Okay, now siguro I would like to focus on the Clean Fuel Group of Companies because admittedly I am not too familiar kasi nagkulong bahay na ako, and when I travel nakikisakay na lang ako. But well, thanks to one of your associates, Chris Lim, I never miss a week of what your prices are. Kasi yung Chris Lim na yan, hindi ko alam kung good news o bad news. Basta nag-flash yung Chris Lim doon sa aking cellphone, eto na. Sabi ko, eto na naman, fuel prices na naman to. So, but anyway, how did you get into clean fuel? Because I know, or at least you used to, from what I remember or what I was told, you own Basic Taxi. So alam ko Basic Taxi, alam ko mahilig ka sa aso, alam ko congressman ka, but I never really knew you as someone inclined to get into this business.
Yeah. Well, Sito, initially that's true. Up to now, I'm still in the transport sector. I still own Basic Taxi. Pero it all started way back in 2004. Way back in 2004, I was elected as the president of the Philippine National Taxi Operators Association. And then thereafter, prices of fuel started to go up. Ako naman, I was in the quandary. Ano bang gagawin namin? Magfa-file ba kami ng fare hike increase para tumaas yung pasahe sa taxi, or we would look for an alternative means of fuel, a cheaper means of fuel? During one of my trips sa Italy, I chanced upon a factory called Tartarini. Tartarini is a conversion kit manufacturer. They manufacture auto LPG kits.
Oh.
So I bought some kits, brought it back to the Philippines, and installed it in 5 of our vehicles, just to see kung kaya kong paandarin. Nung umandar yung sasakyan, I contacted an oil company to supply LPG. So nag-supply, they were willing to supply. I wrote Tartarini and asked for the Philippine distributorship of the auto LPG conversion kit, and they agreed. They were more than happy dahil they didn't have a market here. So my intention was to sell to my own company, Basic. And then yung mga ibang operator, nakita nila na, uy, ano pala, historically, auto LPG is 40% cheaper than gasoline. So, sabi nila, sila rin. So, we started selling to them also. The big oil companies were only willing to sell auto LPG pag fleet operator ka. And then na-realize ko, if I wanted to sell, there were more single unit operator or small operator than fleet operator. Sabi ko, kung gusto namin makumbinsi silang mag-shift to auto LPG, kailangan may kakargahan. So I put up Clean Fuel. That's why the name was Clean Fuel, because initially, we only sold auto LPG. But then, after, yun nga, na-realize, there was a realization also na hindi kami makapag-expand sa lugar na walang taxi.
Aha. So the businessman in Jesus Bong Suntay kicked in again.
Yes. So we started selling gasoline, diesel, and that was the story. And then we became a full service retail fuel retail station, and we're happy because despite the fact na late na kami, 2007 na kami pumasok sa fuel industry because of yung initial niche market namin sa transport sector. And nagkaroon kami ng following, and then the following continued to grow until now, so which allowed us to really expand clean fuel.
You seem to have a knack for picking a business or a concept at the early stage, adapting it, and actually growing it to a profitable point. But pasensya na, no? Ayoko maging presumido, parang assessment ko lang. But when the thing starts to slow down, or it's not as efficient anymore, you bail out. Because I mean, like auto LPG. I had an auto LPG kit put into my car, and then one day I said, this is good for a moment, but not anymore. So I went back to gas again. So ano nangyari dun sa auto LPG? You gave it up?
No, in areas where there are taxis existing, our station still carries auto LPG. Like in Quezon City, all our stations in Quezon City also carry auto LPG. All our taxis still run using auto LPG. In fact, ngayon, dahil sa continued increase ng price ng fuel, a big interest coming from the public transport sector on converting once again to auto LPG, nag-kick in ulit. So nagkakaroon ulit ng interest. It's not naman na iniiwan natin. It's we try to see what grows and ride the interest once it's there.
Well, normal lang naman yun. Kung saan kung may malakas ang kita, di siyempre mag-focus tayo dyan. Sustain na lang muna itong isa, pero ito yung tutukan. But what's your situation now? Now that fuel cost is so high, sourcing fuel is going to start getting really difficult. But I find it weird because while the global scenario tells us fuel is going to be tough, the DOE is saying, oh, it's coming down again. What's your assessment as a businessman?
Okay. Fuel prices talaga in the world market, we were, kasi lagi, we monitor yung means of Platts to see kung ano yung commodities market para to determine kung tataas or bababa. For the past few weeks, talagang pataas ng pataas. Well, ang good news ko muna, since last night, Clean Fuel rolled back diesel prices by 5 pesos. So nag-roll back kami ng presyo ng diesel since last night. Sa tingin namin, ngayon, there is a downtrend sa MAPS. So next week, maaring bumaba. This is caused by, of course, yung increase was caused by the Russian-Ukraine war. But now, there is a downtrend doon sa fuel purchases sa China because of the imposition of new lockdown, of heavy lockdown restrictions brought about by yung spread ng COVID, both in Hong Kong and in the mainland, which is now pushing prices of of fuel down. So
Walang biyahe, walang gastos.
so if the trend continues, siguro makakakita tayo between 2 to 4 peso decrease sa presyo next week.
Okay, so 2 to 4 pesos at hindi yung sinasabing 12 pesos.
No, hindi yung 12 pesos. Masyadong mataas yung computation nila. That's very hopeful.
Okay. Now, what's your reaction, both as a congressman and as an operator or boss of one of the emerging fuel companies in the country? What's your reaction to the president's decision not to give in to the removal of the excise tax?
Ako, in fact, as early as last November, I filed a bill seeking for the temporary suspension of the excise tax, which was additional excise tax imposed under the train law. There are ang gusto ng Department of Finance and DOTR yung fuel subsidy. In fact, nung kasagsagan nung pandemic, they tried to give out yung fuel subsidy. Pero nakita natin yung inherent inefficiencies ng distribution process ng gobyerno. In fact, yung initial na subsidy nakasama nung bayanihan 2 which was given, hanggang ngayon hindi pa na-distribute, fully distribute yung fuel subsidy. Now, ang suggestion nila is to give a 6,500 fuel subsidy to the public transport sector, some of them at least. Pero ang problema niyan, kagaya nga yung computation ko, last week, nung tumaas ang diesel ng 5 pesos and 85 centavos, ang average consumption ng jeepney is 40 liters a day. So that's around 232 pesos a day. Yung nadagdag, just because of the fuel price increase of 585, hindi pa yung big time na increase ngayon na almost 13 pesos, yung 585 lang. So sa isang buwan, in 30 days, ang additional fuel cost was 7,000. Ang planong ibigay ng gobyerno ay 6,500 lang, di kulang pa. Subsidize yung additional fuel cost for a month. So, para sa akin, if we really want yung immediate impact and to spread that impact to everyone who's affected, mas maganda na isuspend muna yung additional excise tax. So mas immediate and mas magiging responsive yun. Hindi yung one-time na fuel subsidy lang, which kagaya ng what is being intended. But of course, yung ating yung ating DOF, yung ating economic managers are against it dahil sa computation nila, malaki raw ang mawawala sa revenue stream ng gobyerno. But ang sinasabi ko nga, aside from the excise tax, meron pa tayong value-added tax. It's an ad valorem tax, yung based on the retail value, on the selling price of products. Merong windfall ang gobyerno dyan, because every time tumataas ang presyo ng anumang bilihin, tumataas rin yung percentage tax, yung nakukuha nila doon sa 12%.
Hindi permis, hindi yung fixed tax ang o kaya na kung piso-piso, pag tumaas ang presyo ng gasolina o crudo, lumalaki yung kinakain ng gobyerno.
Totoo. So hindi ganun kalaki yung mawawala on the part of the government. Which the government could afford. Lagi kang sinasabi, there's a statement coming from the DOF, sasabihin na, private sector, kayo naman magbigay. They're calling on the fuel industry na sinasabi nila, mag-rollback kayo ng presyo, mag-sacrifice kayo. But I think that's unfair because, the private sector, the oil companies, yan, nagbabayad ng tax yan. Pero they're calling on these oil companies to lower to cut their to lower their prices, pero ang gobyerno ayaw naman din magbigay in the form of reducing yung excise tax. kung gusto natin makatulong, it has to be both ways. And yun nga, bigger impact yan pagka doon tayo sa suspension ng excise tax.
Okay, can you educate us, Congressman Suntay, because Secretary Sani Dominguez was saying, or at least someone from DOF was saying, that when you remove the excise tax, only the rich benefit, only the 20% rich benefit. And also on this design of the ayudas, fuel vouchers, etc. Because my sentiment is that even ordinary citizens who are not drivers, who are ordinary people, even those without cars, are affected by the fuel increases. Pero ang ina-address lang ng gobyerno, para bang, I hate to say this, para tayo nagkakalokohan dito, inuuto eh. Kasi, bigyan natin yung bangkero, bigyan natin yung tricycle, bigyan natin yung jeepney, but the rest of the Filipinos, magdudusa. Am I right in thinking this?
I agree with you. I agree with you, Sita. In fact, that's the same rationale that I have been telling them nung final ko yung bill ko. Everyone is affected. Not only the public transport sector, hindi lang yung mga magigisda, hindi lang yung agricultural sector. Dahil every time prices of fuel go up, it affects energy costs, electricity costs, because some of our power producers use bunker fuel. Now, yung logistics, yung trucking, yung hauling of goods are also affected. Pagka tumaas ang presyo ng diesel, yung delivery cost also increases. So it affects the prices of food. So lahat talaga yan naaapektuhan, hindi lang yung private sector. Pag tumaas yung pamasahe, then pati yung mga mananakay, kumukonte yung pera nila na maaari nilang maggamit dahil mas mataas ang pasahe. So everyone is affected. Tama yung observation mo. It's not just the rich ang makikinabang if we reduce the excise tax. Everyone ang makikinabang. In fact, we will be able to address by giving it. Kasi ngayon, sabi ko, bukod nga dun sa institutional inefficiencies ng government distribution process ng fuel subsidy. Meron pang dyan you lose something through corruption also eh.
Ikaw na nagsabi, Congressman, thank you for at least voicing that, because marami sa amin, in particular am worried that all of that money is going to be either parked in some bank by some crooked government official para magkaroon ng konting kita, or it's going to become part of, ayan ito yung fuel subsidy, pakiboto si ganito. Ito fuel subsidy, yung kandidato ko.
Totoo yan. That may happen, and we've seen it in the past. Kaya nga, and ang fear ko, by the time may distribute nila yung subsidy na yan, baka yung makapatay na yung
aanhin ang damo kung patay na ang kabayo, kasi bata ka pa panahon namin yan
Isipin mo, itong 6,500 fuel subsidy was already being talked about. Well, it was already included in the GAA, which we passed way back last year. So as early as last year, nandun na yun. Pero March na ngayon, hindi pa rin na-distribute. Pinag-uusapan pa rin na ibibigay. So you could just see how kung gaano katagal yung nagiging proseso. Hindi ko alam kung hinihintay nila na bumalik na ulit yung presyo ng gasolina dun sa dating level bago nila ibibigay. Pero people have been suffering for a long time already, and kailan pa nila ibibigay yung fuel subsidy? And even if mabigay yung fuel subsidy, it will only help for a few weeks. And then that's it.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, I am short on time with you. I suppose part 3 with Jesus Bong Suntay will be in order. But there's just a last question here. Paki-clarify, ano yung possible mag-rollback next week? Diesel or gasoline daw po?
Both.
Both.
Diesel and gasoline.
Okay,
Posibleng
so
mag-rollback.
mga 2 to 4 pesos, sabi mo.
If basing from yung commodities market that closed yesterday.
Mhm. Okay, pero matanong ko lang pahabol na lang, sorry Congressman, ano? Paano ba ninyo nako-compute yan? Kasi pasensya ka na, no? Siyempre, everyone is suspect, pati kayo. Kasi may mga nagsasabi, paano yan? Hindi pa nga dumadating yung gasolina, may price increase na. Old stock yata yan, may price increase. How is this done, Congressman?
Dati yung price increase or reduction were reflected on a daily basis. So laging dati historically, so may mga araw na pabago-bago yung presyo. Then it was requested by the DOE na gawin na lang weekly yung price changes. I-averaging na lang para hindi pabago-bago yung presyo. And the fuel industry acceded to that request na gawing weekly. So yung nakikita nating price change, kaya na-determine, it's the average price for the week that is reflected on the coming week naman.
Ayun. So, kumbaga, calculation. Para na rin pala kayong Okta research, ano? Pero pang fuel lang. Okay. Congressman Suntay, thank you very much for your time this morning. And I suppose I will simply have to monitor Chris Lim and his text messages to me at i-broadcast ko na lang dito kasi laging nagkakatotoo, good or bad, nagkakatotoo. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Tito. Thank you very much. Good morning.
Okay, that's Congressman Jesus Bong Suntay of Quezon City and also President and of Clean Fuel Group of Companies. So yun po, mapakaliwa, mapakanan, mahirap pa rin ang posisyon nila because they also want to help our country, our business sector, and our ordinary citizens. Pero at the end of the day, it's government, regardless of who is president. We really need to do something about budget cuts at pagtitipid sa gobyerno. So kung kayo iboboto ninyo yung nakakaintindi, hindi yung waldas sa gas, waldas pa sa pera because ladies and gentlemen, many people in government have free fuel, free cars, free drivers, free staff. Pagkatapos sasabihin sa private sector, kayong mag-sacrifice. We'll go for a quick break. We'll be right back here on Agenda. Welcome back to the program agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, and thank you for joining us this morning. Morning, evening, afternoon. Bahala na kayo. Good day na lang kasi ako nalilito na rin ako. And today, we will be joined by a guest that has appeared on the program before, and he is none other than Michael Aspirin, Chief Operating Officer or COO of Alphaland. Now, before I bring in Mike, let me just explain why I felt that I needed to feature their company, because back in 2019, I heard about this project, 2018, 2019. I heard about this project just on the outskirts of Baguio City. And people were telling me, "Hoy, naku, napaka-exclusive. Hindi ka basta-basta makakapunta. Sobrang mamahal ng mga bahay doon. Talagang mga mayayaman lang ang meron doon. Kahit may Ferrari ka, hindi ka basta-basta makakapasok, etc., etc." So, like many Filipinos, we just because we can't see it on our own, we just ganun ba? Di ba? And but that kept going on. And then recently, I heard friends saying, "Wow, man, it's 40 million a pop." Kumbaga, 40 million daw ang isang cottage, etc. And until finally, a friend of a friend decided, why don't we pay them a visit? And let's find out. And nagkataon naman that I had met Mike Aspirin, at least on the TV, on Zoom, dito sa agenda. So sabi ko, sandali, na-interview ko na yan eh. So we reached out and we paid Alphaland a visit. Alphaland is 15 minutes outside of Baguio. Medyo scenic ang drive papunta sa kanila. Talaga kasi maganda, mataas. And then totoo po, I saw the cottages, I saw the project, and I was also filtering yung mga chismis kasi may si ganito raw, may ganun, ganyan. So I said, "You know what, Mike, why don't you just come on the show and let's talk about the project so that people can get a correct perspective of the project." Because it's a project that I find, yes, if you don't have 40 million, you will say it's very expensive. But if you understand investments, if you understand value for money, and like me, I was in the construction of resorts in my past life, you understand that it's a good investment. Let's bring in Mike Aspirin. Mike, good morning.
Ting dyan na agsapa-kapsat. Good morning.
Oh, Ilocano muna naman ako eh. Hirap naman
Ibaloy yun.
Ibaloy ba? Wala na, hindi ko na alam eh. Okay, anyway, good morning Mike, and welcome to the program. In-explain ko na sa viewers natin, kasi parang may maraming mga sabi-sabi, mga chismis. I felt that, it would be good for Filipinos to aspire for good things, for big things. And Alphaland Projects in Baguio is one of those. Could you just tell us more about the history of the project?
Okay. The property itself used to be owned already by Mr. Ong Pin. It started with over 20 hectares. And initially, this was a citrus farm, a flower farm. But of course, through the years, the plants deteriorate, even the trees, until one time in about 2014, 2015, after we finished the initial concept and yung vision niya about Balisin, he was thinking of what else is next. So since the place was aging, and through the years, from the 20 plus hectares, he kept on buying the properties around it. So sabi niya, why don't we do something about that place where I am? Kasi yung tuktok ko ng bundok na to, which is about 5,300 feet above sea level, much higher than Baguio City. So sabi niya, why don't we put in a real estate development? So nung nag-uusap kami, sabi niya, bakit hindi natin gawin na lang para mag-control natin at hindi maging house show na parang ibang subdivision na may walls and all that. Let's sell it as a condominium, horizontal condominium. So maganda yung concept. And the target then was supposedly, since foreigners in our country cannot buy any property, no, or real property, condominium pwede, allowed eh. So yun talaga yung target market namin. So we invited again Ecoplan of Florida, which planned Balisin, and together we planned the whole place until groundbreaking kami in 2015, no? What used to be a one-lane road, na dirt road, we developed it into a two-lane road, concreted all over the place. We started from the top near yung bahay ni Mr. Ongpin, and we started, yung concept kasi doon is we wanted to sell totally equipped and furnished homes with the usual Alpha Land standard, no? In ready-to-move-in conditions, with a stove, with appliances, with fireplace, with furniture, decorative furnishings, including luxury beds, no, with linens, no. Tapos may bath. You've seen it, di ba? May Japanese bathtub at saka may sauna pa. And each home is constructed from imported pine logs, which we import from Scandinavia. So lahat ng units are fully treated against termites, and no part of the house that touches the ground will be pine wood at all, but will either be concrete logs or mountain stone. So lahat ng log homes dito have two fireplaces, yung mga single detached. One in the main living room and another one in the master's bedroom. In addition, meron na nga kaming ino-offer na 3-bedroom units, no? 4 units in each quadruplex lodge, which measures about 249 units each. Our plan is to finish about 300 units in a couple of probably 5 to 6 years. But it seems we'll be doing this for the next 10 years pa. Kasi right now, while we've built about 75 units, we've sold over 110 units already. And surprisingly, puro Pilipino ang bumibili, no? And nung tinitingnan namin bakit yung trend all of a sudden ganun, dahil in a way yun ang naging blessing sa amin as a property developer in selling this type of homes, no? Yung pandemya. Why? Kasi the rich all of a sudden, the wealthy all of a sudden had money to spare, no? Imagine 2 years ka hindi ka makalabas sa bansa, and they were looking for places where they could invest. Nobody wanted to invest in vehicles, no? So when they found this, eto na. They were coming in droves, looking at it, and when we did the first 17 houses, immediately, less than 6 months, in fact 3 months lang, ubus kaagad, nabili na kaagad. And through the years, we've started developing. In fact, right now, for 2021, that was the biggest sale we had, no? If we compare it from 2017, which is about 27, no? From 17 to 27. Tapos ngayong taon, we are going to build 64 buildings or 113 units, no? Including quadruplexes. Why is it so popular? Kasi yung investment, yung security, and of course, when you see the place, ma-overwhelm ka talaga. It's like you're in another country. And what's amazing about this is the vistas. Kasi yung vision talaga ni Mr. Ongpin was to bring back the glory of Baguio. I am from Baguio myself, and I miss that place. That's why sa amin, we've planted about let's say about over 200,000 pine trees already since 2017, and we plan to plant over 1 million pine trees in the next 5 years. At sa ngayon, pag pumunta ka rito, naaamoy na yung pine tree, yung scent ng pine tree. In fact, when you go inside a log home, which you experience yourself, no? Maaamoy mo, logs talaga. Yung log, napaka-fresh. And all the log homes are maintained by us, no? When you buy one, kasama na dun sa contract namin, yung tubig, amin yung tubig, tapat yung pine wood for the fireplace, no? It's all on us. And we just have so much water because the property itself, we are very blessed and fortunate because so far we have discovered 10 springs and we're using a lot of these. And now that we've acquired more properties, we found there's another area that brings about probably 100 GPM na tubig na lumalabas. And we're preserving the environment and also making sure that the forested areas are not harmed at all para yung watershed namin tuloy-tuloy pa rin through the year. So, and it's very exciting as we continue to develop in areas. And we have been cooperating with the local government and HLURB, even DNR. So we've been under the watch of the NR, and DNR, the local DNR has been impressed in the way we are keeping nature at its best and the way we do our landscaping. Kasi hindi mangyayari to kung hindi kami nag-i-invest dito eh. Now, like you said, people were saying it's too expensive, it's only for the rich. Imagine, Sito, we've almost spent half a billion just on developing roads, shotcreting mountains to protect the slopes. Yun ang aming ginagawa lagi, slope protection. And then riprap, and right now, even in the next development, we already hired, before we even develop, we already hired a geological surveyor na binubutasan yung in certain areas to see what is buildable and which is not. If it is not buildable, we do not dare even touch that area. So before we do anything on the ground, we prepare at least a year, no? Minimum yan, 1 year. Pag may nakita kaming site, para makita kung buildable. In fact, ang ganda nga nung itong area na pinakita ko sa iyo, no? Yung tinatawag natin Block 10 when we went over there. Yung result nun, makita mo, buildable, but when we hit about mga 9 meters na na-clear namin, batong-bato na eh. No? Tinutok-tok na nga ng mga backhoes namin. Then solid na yung bato. And that's wonderful for us. Kasi then we know very solid yung foundation ng bawat bahay. And aside from that, while we have a clubhouse in here, we're building another 6-level multiple clubhouse, no, over in that area, which is about six floors, no, and that construction is now going to start this March before the rainy season, and we call it the Pines Place. Yung 6 levels na yun, it will have a main level consisting of 2 grand fireplaces with sitting and lounging areas, 3 specialty restaurants, Japanese, which is Sakura, the Costa del Sol, which is a Spanish restaurant, and Toscana Ristorante, Italiano. And of course, we'll have a lounge bar. And there will be 28 bedroom suites and an entertainment area with a billiards table, a ping pong table, mahjong, chess tables, even karaoke rooms, one of which can be turned into a screening room. And there will be also outdoor cabanas as well as 40 parking slots. Ito ang pamaganda. Yung recent na plan na pinakita sa amin, which we already had it approved, no? Even submitted already to the local engineering office here, no? After doing the drawings and the structural, magkakaroon kami ng heated pool dun sa ilalim nung in mismo. Unlike where we have now, where we dined, remember? Dito 12 lang ang units namin eh. It has okay naman yung dining area namin kasi kaya lang it's so limited to about 72. But we've had wedding receptions here which accommodate 100 to 200 people kasi inopen namin pati yung labas nito nung inn, including yung harap ng bahay ni Mr. Ongpin, which is a very large patio, and it's fully manicured, so everyone is enjoying. Kaya lang nga, recently, we just allowed na lang weddings here, and hininto na namin muna yung mga reception. Una kasi, that's not our core business. Second, it also disturbs during the evening yung mga homeowners dito pag may reception dito. So we want to keep this as a quiet place where people can feel secure and just enjoy the cool air here in Benguet. So
you know, Mike, when you talk about it, people said it's what people were saying, wow, 40 million, 45 million ang starting bid dyan, Sito. And I said, uh, wait, let's clarify, okay? You said horizontal condominiums.
Yes.
Kasi pag sinabi mo sa pangkaraniwang Pilipino, horizontal condominium, building pa rin. Baka isipin nila townhouses. These are Scandinavian style cottages.
Correct.
Kumbaga parang first class na mga cottages na mas malaki doon sa mga pangkaraniwan sa Baguio. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay, so ngayon 45 million sabi mo beginning April, from 40 magiging 45 million na yung presyo ninyo. Etong kapitbahay ko nagpatayo ng 5 yatang townhouses. Ang chismis lang naman running for 25 to 35 million per townhouse na 3-level, 110 square meters, so 130 square meters at the most. Jan, what is let's talk about per unit. The original model, 3 bedrooms, what is the floor area, the lot area?
Well, each unit, whether it's a 3-bedroom or a 6-bedroom, ang naka-allocate ho dyan is always 2,500 square meters. Okay? Ngayon, yung 3-bedroom quadruplex, meaning to say there are 4 units in a building. Dalawa ho sa baba at dalawa sa taas. Ang floor area, no, per unit, no, is 249 square meters. Right now, we've stopped already building 4 and 5 bedroom units. What we're building now are just the quadruplex na 3 bedroom units at saka 6 bedroom units, which is about an average of 500 square meters. Now the price, starting April 1, ang 3 bedroom unit ho ngayon will already be 49 million. Yung sa baba, yung dalawa sa baba. Yung sa taas will become 50 million. Why? Kasi yung price increase, biglang you will find out na bigla ho kami after what happened. Ganda nga ho yung tamang-tama yung pinag-usapan nyo kanina. Yung effect ko sa iba-ibang industries, malaki. Sa baka lang ho hindi pa nga ho nakaka-increase itong the other day. Last week, yung bili na ho namin ng bakal, umakyat na ng 13%. And we were already informed it will again increase by another 18%. So imagine, ina-anticipate na namin that the buildings that we're going to be building, mag-i-increase din yung lahat ng construction materials, including cement and even the materials that are added in building this place. Even ho yung kahoy, which we import in different countries of Scandinavia. Hindi na ho kami makakakuha sa Ukraine, Belarus at saka Russia because of what's happening. So sa Finland limited lang, but ang source ho na namin na kinukuhan ngayon has tremendously increased by 30%. So we're fixing and we're buying now and making down payments para mai-fix ho yung aming supply, no? At a price na which is going to be still may konting profit ka rin, pero hindi ka naman malulugi, pero ana-anticipate na namin kung aabot. And what's scary about this, if this continues in the next 3 to 4 months even, no? Kahit siguro huminto na yung gera doon, yung effect ko niyan, I've been talking to a lot of fuel companies because I used to work for Petron also. Ang sabi ho sa akin, yung effect pa niyan, another 3 months even if it stops. So sabi namin, sige, di bale, we'll fix the price now, increase it up to this point, and we'll just absorb whatever it is. Kung limit ang kita, that's okay. Because at least we don't build Sito the log homes if the person does not pay us or give a 25% down payment. Non-refundable doon.
Okay, 25% down payment, completion within how many years?
Okay. Surprisingly, if we start, baka hindi ka makapaniwala. We can build a single detached unit, that is yung mga 6 bedrooms. We can build it kung walang ulan, 6 months guaranteed. Pero pag may ulan, umabot din kami ng 8 to 9 months
Mhm.
because hindi mo maiwasan lalo na rito mataas ang humidity, mataas
Yeah.
ang moisture. Especially now, it's been raining for the past 6 days. So it's very unusual. Usually the rains here in Benguet start in May. This is the first time I've experienced myself, that early March pa lang umuulan na. We're on the 7th day, it's still gloomy, it's going to rain again.
Okay, well, I guess my timing was off. I love the rain in Baguio. I should have gone later, but babalik ako dyan. Anyway,
Yes.
baka naman napaka-exclusive ninyo dyan. When I said babalik ako sa Baguio po, no, hindi po sa Alpalan. Kasi baka sabihin nyo kung saan ako kumukuha ng pera. But anyway, I mean, like I pointed out, there are townhouses in Metro Manila that are only 100 to 200 square meters and batong-bato, kwadrado, that go to 30 to 35, 40 million. Dyan, it's really a log home and it's fully furnished and the maintenance is undertaken by Alpha. Now, baka naman saksakan naman kayo ng exclusive na kailangan ipakita pa yung financial statement, kumuha pa ng endorsement from the Office of the President or DOF, Mike.
Hindi. No, we don't do that. So long as you can afford and you are able to pay, wala ho kang pinipili. In fact, we open this to people who are interested. I personally tour. We're a team of 5 people. I personally tour people around the area and show to them. And I show to them even the quality, And I tell them, yes, you can buy a condominium, a horizontal condominium in Janhe, in other places that are being developed now. Biglang nagkaroon ng horizontal condominium na concept, and it's working now here in Baguio as well, Kaya
Okay.
lang, ang sabi ko, ang pagkakaiba sa amin, you will own it for a lifetime. Sa kanila, 25, 50 years renewable. So it's not yours entirely.
Well, it's two different markets, two different propositions. But anyway, at least we were able to clear up some of the stuff, and I'll have to let you go, Mike, because we've run out of time. But thank you for showing us a project that is at least Filipinos can be proud of. Masasabi, meron yan sa Pilipinas. Kayo, meron ba kayo yan sa Saudi? Okay, we'll go. We have to say goodbye. Thank you very much, Mike Aspirin.
Thank you, Sito. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Okay,
God
that's
bless.
Mike Aspirin of Alpha Land, and I leave you with this week's blessing, and it comes from Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 17. The Lord your God is in your midst, a warrior who gives victory. He will rejoice over you with gladness. He will renew you in his love. He will exult over you with loud singing. I name it, we claim it. God bless all of you. Thank you for joining us here on Agenda. Keep it here on One News PH.